Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. Hey guys, hope you're all doing okay. So back quite quickly for another video. Well, that's because we had obviously Catherine's royal tour, a 2-day whirlwind tour to Denmark, where she was meeting other members of the royal family and various other engagements to do with the Royal Foundation Early Years Centre. So this has been talked about for quite some time, the build up to it, because, you know, this is a solo engagement for Catherine without William, and she's meeting other members of the royal family abroad. So, you know, it's quite a big thing for her. And everyone was really looking forward to it. So what do you think could happen on the day that Catherine arrives in Copenhagen? Well, magically, like spotting a unicorn, Harry and Meghan were packed. Yes. And they weren't alone. They went to dinner with Princess Eugenie and Jack, who, as we know, because Princess Eugenie was seen at the Super Bowl with Harry a week ago, that she was obviously out there spending time with her cousin. Now, not only is this a rare sighting and it just happens to coincide on the day that Catherine started her tour, predictable, it draws attention to the fact that Harry doesn't seem that concerned again being in Santa Barbara, you know, in America where people have guns, because they went to the restaurant. Were they surrounded by heavy burly security? No. The paparazzi magically managed to be there and made sure that they had really good shots of the couples. The shy and retiring couple were seated right near a window. It looks like it's got a plastic covering on it. Sometimes restaurants do that to keep the wind out in the evening, or it could be some sort of COVID regulations. I'm not sure what the restaurants are like out in Santa Barbara with the rules. But either way, it's funny, isn't it, how they happen to be sat in perfect view of Meghan and Harry's faces and Eugenie for the photographer's lens. Not only did the paparazzi know which restaurant, bearing in mind how long they've lived out there and they never get packed unless they want to be, but the paparazzi also knew the exact table that they would be sitting at. Now, isn't it funny how Harry is so security conscious and so concerned that they would want to sit next to such quite clearly a very visible place for the public to see them. If a photographer's lens can reach them, then it means that anyone could have spotted them. The couples were quite animated in their chats, especially Meghan, who was doing her, "Oh my God, that's so hilarious." We've seen this many times before. This is where Meghan is completely overemphasizing the fact that she's finding it super funny. We're having such a great time. Actress overkill. But it did ensure that the photographer managed to get perfect shots of the couples having what seemed to be a hilarious moment together. Now, as I said, bearing in mind, Eugenie was spotted with Harry a week ago at the Super Bowl. So they have had plenty of times for lunches, for dinners, for any passing photographers or eager beavers with their camera phones to have actually managed to snap the couple. But this was the night that they were captured and the photos were released, and I'd like to point out BACKGRID. Now, BACKGRID is generally, when you see BACKGRID at the bottom of celebrity photographs, it's staged. It's staged paparazzi. They're paparazzi for hire. This is how a lot of D-list, C-list celebrities make their money by, you know, doing these kind of shots. The Kardashians are famous for it. So we've got good old BACKGRID again. And as I said, it's released on the exact day that Catherine arrives in Copenhagen. You can smell the desperation for attention all the way back in the UK. Despite the couple's obvious attention-grabbing stunt, it didn't work. Catherine has been making headlines for the last couple of days. And I have to say, with very good reason, Catherine, the fun-loving, down-to-earth princess-to-be that she is, she gave us one of the most glorious entrances ever.
Where I am, I had to do that.
Perfect, yes.
She nailed it, didn't she? Completely like a boss. I can tell you now, and I'm talking from experience, I have gone down these children's shoots before and I don't come out looking that gracious at the end of it. I would have been arse first and my hair would be a big static mess. But there she was in high heels, she came out, she laughed it off, and within seconds she was stood there looking completely immaculate. I think this is only Catherine that could probably pull that one off. Catherine had arrived wearing the Danish flag colours, the red blazer. I love blazers on Catherine, and this one is no exception. And what makes it better? It's a £60 Zara blazer, and I can tell you now, it will no doubt be sold out. Catherine has, well, they call it, don't they, the Catherine effect. Catherine had arrived, obviously not by that method of transport. Catherine was there to promote the Royal Foundation's Centre for Early Childhood that she works on, and she has obviously been working on for a large number of years. She was there to meet with various parents, scientists and other royals as part of this 2-day tour. One of the visits that Catherine did was to visit the Children's Museum, and they have an actual department there which is to do with understanding your baby. And what they do is they actually train healthcare workers to work with new parents when they're dealing with various issues that can come up, often subjects that, you know, having children is a wonderful thing, but it can come with its own set of complications, and especially being new parents. So it's all to do with making sure that parents and children have the right support from very early stages. Catherine made a lot of jokes after she spent time with parents and their young babies about how William has expressed his concerns that when she goes away and she works on these various projects to do with especially babies under the age of 1, that she gets very broody, and William has a few concerns that she's going to come back and go, right, baby number 4. It's been a few times that the couple have joked about this, more recently when they went and visited Lancashire and you saw her holding a baby then. So it's quite obvious that these conversations probably do come up with the couple. I think it's quite normal for a lot of parents. I've got friends that have had a couple of children and they're like, oh, should we have another one? So it's really nice to see Catherine sharing these personal details about her life. Again, it makes her really down to earth. She also discussed the fact that the Cambridge children, George, Louis and Charlotte, were a little bit unimpressed that they couldn't come along because Catherine was going to the Lego Play Centre lab, and I'm presuming this is where the slide was. And who could blame them? You imagine finding out that your mum's going to be going somewhere really cool as that and you can't come. So again, this is just little conversations, little tidbits that remind us that she is, despite all of the royal obligations, she is just still a normal mum as well. Once a lot of the fun stuff was over with, Catherine also met with scientists and the director of the Centre for Early Intervention and Family Studies, where they discussed issues and challenges, again, about raising children within families that can sometimes be well-educated families, working parents, all the way through to disadvantaged families that in turn can have their own set of challenges. Following on from yesterday, Catherine kept up with the early years and went and visited a kindergarten where you can see her here chopping wood with a hammer. Slightly different, but I'd imagine it's a bit safer with the children around. Catherine, dressed down in her normal casual country attire, just looks like any other normal parent that was there. You can see Catherine, she was having lots of fun. She was meeting and speaking with lots of families and children, and again mucking around and playing games. I love seeing Catherine on these sort of engagements because she just engages with people, but she's running around, she's having a laugh. The Forest Kindergarten helps encourage children to be involved in outdoor activities, parents as well, encouraging children to play outside. And it's not just children. Obviously, with lockdown and everything that we went through, I think a lot of adults and children learnt to love being outside and really appreciating it. Catherine, as we know, has incorporated a lot of outdoor activities and encouragement for children to get involved with nature as part of the Royal Foundation early years. A couple of years ago, Catherine even helped build a nature garden, which was back to nature in Wisley Gardens, which is in Surrey. And that's when we had lots of photographs that were released to the press, not just her building it and encouraging other children. There was a tree house, there was a swing, but we also got to have a lot of photographs of the family playing together. George and Charlotte, I love George and Charlotte sitting there dangling their toes like over the water, and obviously boss baby Prince Louis and William playing. Finishing up the Duchess's whirlwind 2-day tour, she had a very important royal meeting with Queen Margrethe and Crown Princess Mary of Denmark. Princess Mary is another incredibly modern and fashionable royal. Often the two women share very similar fashion styles, both classic beauties and both married to future monarchs, with Princess Mary married to Crown Prince Frederick. The future Queen consorts formed a friendship back in 2011, and it would seem that the friendship has stuck. It's often been remarked on the similarities between the lives of both women, where they were both commoners, married their princes, and are both going to be Queen consorts one day. I think it goes without saying that the trip has been incredibly successful, not just for Catherine and both countries, but also strengthening Catherine's early years work to reach across to other countries that have got similar programs, how they can combine their scientific research and studies to basically to combine it, to work on it together, and to just generally make an overall better childhood for a lot of children. The visit also marks the historic friendship between Denmark and the UK and the celebration of both our Queen's Jubilees, which are to be held this year. Obviously with Queen Elizabeth, our Queen, celebrating her Platinum Jubilee. And then you have Queen Margrethe of Denmark, who is celebrating her Golden Jubilee. So in light of all of this and the fact that we have had wonderful photographs, headlines across both countries, very positive, Catherine has been trending yet again, I would say on the whole it was a completely successful visit. And it makes the calculated and predictable attention grab that the Montecito duo tried to pull just look embarrassing, desperate. So I would say Catherine 1, Montecito big fat 0. So that's it for this video. It was a bit of a short and sweet one, and I will be back with you guys very soon. So take care for now. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.